Hey guys, how you all doing? Okay, so today I want to talk about something that happened. I had a conversation with my 12-year-old son, and it really brought up something of interest for us to talk about. It's about uh, lies, and well, it's actually more about your word. Okay, so I was talking to my son, and he's like, something happened, and he was telling me a story, and then he kind of wasn't telling the truth. And with my boy, what I do typically is, well, both of them, I have conversations because I believe that when you train kids up, used to having kind of like adult, matured conversations, and you teach them to reason things out, it works a lot better than just giving them plain instructions. That's my view. Um, like when I tell my son, if he's talking about his sister having done something wrong, I'll say, listen, son, don't tell me what other people are doing wrong. Don't tell me about other people's faults. Tell me about your faults, what you're doing wrong, and how you're going to improve. That's what I tell him. So a lot of times when he's going to come and complain about his sister, he finds it very difficult because I'm already instilling that mindset in him. So we're having this conversation, right? And I noticed that he's not telling, the truth. And I say to him, listen, it's what you're saying true. And he sort of like, no. I'm like, okay. Do you know why it's important for us to tell the truth? Why is it important for us to respect our word, to know the power of our words? And he said, no, not really, because lying is bad. I said, okay, yeah. But that's the fact that lying is bad is a very small part of it. It's important, but it's a very, very small part of it. Who hears the words you speak? Who hears them first? It's you, right? Exactly. Now, when you speak, when you say things, and you know they're true, do you believe them? And the answer was what? Of course, yes. Right. Now, when you say things that are not true, do you believe them? And said no. I said, okay. Now, do you on the inside, right? That's hearing the words coming through your ears. Do you on the inside receives what you're saying and begins to either motivate you or stir you to act in accordance, in agreement with what you've said? Okay? And this is a very simple concept. Think about it. When you tell someone, oh, I'll see you at 2:00, I'll pick up that item at 5, I'll pay for that on Thursday, what happens? You said it, right? Your brain begins to create a process to ensure that you remember, typically. And if you're the kind of person that forgets stuff, your brain tells you, listen, you're going to forget this, so write it down, all right? Or make a phone call and make the arrangement, right? Why does your brain do that? It's because the words have come out of your mouth. There's a commitment that you've made. Ears heard it. The mind has processed it. Something is now moving you to act on that word. Here's the problem. When you do not tell the truth, when you speak words that you will not honor, what happens is that your brain begins to get confused. In here, confusion begins to start. It begins to get created. Because now your mind cannot tell. Yes, you're not telling yourself the truth, but you're speaking the words. And you know that you're not telling the truth. You know that when you say you're going to show up for that party, you're not going to go. You're actually not going to go. So your mind gets kind of confused, and it doesn't know now, should I create a task, like a reminder inside, so that he knows about the party, or should I not? And then what then happens is, when you give your word and you break it, when you say something and you don't do it, when you tell a lie, your mind begins to learn to disregard what you're saying. So when you now tell the truth, when you now make a real commitment, I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm not going to steal. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to make that payment I owe you on Friday. When you begin to say things that you really mean, because you have confused your mind, because you've confused your heart with the lies, by breaking your word consistently, by not doing the things you said, what then happens is your mind begins to delete those things as well. When you're really serious now, your mind begins to delete them. And you don't have the drive to do a lot of stuff that you really want to do. It's one of the reasons that you begin to procrastinate, because the mind, like, you're probably not serious about this, right? You're probably just saying it to get somebody off your case. You know, when somebody says, oh, are you going to, yeah, sure, I'm going to come for the party, and you really want to go, your mind just figures, it's probably one of those situations where he's just lying, you know, to get some peace of mind. So delete. Don't create a reminder in his brain. And I began to explain it in simple terms to my son that, listen, if you want to have a great life, if you know that you cannot do something, don't make a commitment. Don't say it. You can say, I'll think about it. But here is the thing. A gentleman, it's a 12-year-old I'm saying this to. A gentleman, one of the definitions of a gentleman is a man who gives his word and does not break it, even when it's going to hurt him to fulfill that word. Why? Because he's made a commitment to somebody else. And that commitment becomes like the control. The only time he's released from that commitment is if the other person releases him. A gentleman honors his word. And the only way you can honor your word as a gentleman, as a gentlewoman, is when you speak the truth and you do that consistently. So your mind knows that you're serious about what you're saying. Otherwise, your mind just keeps disregarding it. I don't even remember. So begin to train yourself, like I told my son, speak the truth. If you cannot make a commitment, don't. If you know you're not going to follow through, don't make a commitment. If you do make a commitment, as a gentleman, as a gentlewoman, as a person of integrity, follow through on your commitment. Follow through on it. You're going to make people know that you're someone of integrity and someone that can be dealt with. Because here is the funny thing. You might think that in this scenario, you don't have to demonstrate integrity with this person. You don't have to keep your word with this person. Here's the truth. It's going to slip over into this other side of your life as well. I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen. So, like I told my son, when you make a commitment, stick with it. When you're going to say something, your ear is listening, your mind is listening, your heart is listening. If you know you're not going to follow through, don't say it. Just keep it. And when you're going to speak, speak the truth. Okay, guys, that's what I have for you for today. Take it, think about where you can apply it in your life, and I'll talk to you soon.